Assalamualaikum Sobat ALFATH. Kisah mualaf berikut tentang seorang wanita cantik asal Brasil bernama Monique yang memutuskan menjadi mualaf karena menurutnya Islam lebih masuk akal dibanding yang lain. Mengapa ia berpendapat demikian? Bagaimana perjuangannya hingga memutuskan menjadi mualaf? Simak kisahnya dalam tayangan video berikut ini.
Okay, moved here from Brazil 12 years ago. I enjoy traveling. I love sports. I have a good group of friends. Love my family. Love being out in the nature like we are at this moment. That's it. I was looking for meaning in life. It felt like there was a gap in my life. I have a good job. I have good friends. I have good family. Though I'm away from my family, there was a gap in terms of the spiritual side of things. So I began searching, and initially I watched some sermons. I'm from a Catholic background, so I knew that. Then I met someone from Islam, a friend, and I just having conversations and listening a little bit about that, it got me interested. I then reached out to the mosque and asked if anyone would be open to have a coffee with me. And from that moment onwards, I began to have weekly sessions to talk about Islam and learn a little bit about the history. And it got to a point where I felt that that was the meaning that it was missing, and that would fill the gap, and it did, and it brought me peace. But that's how I came across Islam, which is really unusual. I never had heard of it before. But yeah. The gap was the understanding that there is something greater guiding me throughout my day-to-day life, and that he knows where I'm going, though I may not. And I think in the past it was more so I was accountable for my actions, and every failure was my failure. I didn't have any understanding that there was something bigger guiding my actions, that knew the way, knew that there was a better path. Not at all, and that's why I felt that I needed to do so much research and really understand and really see if it was for me, because the reality is that even though I was brought up Catholic, I was agnostic. I didn't pray. I didn't have conversations about religion. I very much looked unfavorably towards it. I was like, there may be a God or there may not be a God. I'm not sure. And I felt that was, I was being distant from that spiritual side, because I began to think that there might be something more. Yeah, I think for me it wasn't a moment, it was a combination of things. I think that people I have met that were from the faith, the way that they carry themselves with such kindness, such understanding, a great sense of community, that touched me. So that was one point. Then throughout the classes I've realized that this makes sense, more sense than the other things that I have become, that I knew about religion. So there was that knowledge aspect. It was also a reasonable religion. I've only read a few pages of the Quran so far because I'm really new, but I see that there is reasonableness throughout the Quran. You're supposed to fast, but you're not supposed to fast if you're ill, if you're elderly. It's not an absolute requirement that you do this if it's going to bring you harm, because the intent is to preserve life. And there is a lot, one of the key pillars is being a volunteer, like giving some of what you have to other people. And there's nothing more beautiful than that, because I'm blessed. I'm in a position to help people that are less blessed. So all of those things resonated with me as a person. And the understanding, as I did now in the retreat, and it was a very touching moment, was to understand that I was guided to this path. I was made to be here as I am now, and be a Muslim. You know that you're as a woman, you would be less than a man. Things like that. All of the conversations that I had so far with friends about wanting to become a Muslim turn into, oh, but you're not going to be able to do this, or you're not going to see us anymore, or you're gonna, I heard from a colleague, oh, you're going to walk behind your husband. And I'm like, yeah, so some of those misconceptions. I think it's unfortunate that they exist because it's absolutely the opposite. I've been so respected as a woman. I've been so respected, even in the little things. If I'm walking through a corridor, the brothers will move so I can pass. This is very different from the idea that women would be disrespected. It's much the opposite. And I wish that people at least were open to have the knowledge before they make the statement. I think that would make a huge difference because I've never been so respected. Oh yes, my mother. There's a lot of people that don't know. I've been introducing little by little, like wearing the hijab. I wanted to see if I felt comfortable before I wore it. So I just said to friends, next time you see me, once I realized that I felt really comfortable, I said, next time you see me, I'm going to be wearing a hijab. Okay? Okay. But my mom, she doesn't know. I'm thinking about, it's not even fear because I think that she very much holds that perception that people hold because of the media. That, now I'm going to be trapped and I won't be able to do many things. And, but yeah, that's my next step, to have a conversation with my mom and to tell her. And I guess at the end of the day, as long as I'm happy, she will come to understand the decision that I have made. And it gives me the opportunity to share the knowledge that I have acquired throughout this retreat, as well as my classes with her and with my father. I sort of got a flavor of what would be the reaction because I told my sister that I was exploring Islam and I was interested, and the initial reaction was, this is good. Knowledge is important. However, we grew up Catholic. There's, the Holy Trinity, and I got that conversation about what is expected from us within our family. So I think my mom may go down that path, but knowing my mom, she will ultimately accept me, and as long as I'm happy and I'm healthy, that's fine. I would say continue to do your research, continue to seek the knowledge, because only through that you will make the right decision for you, and step away from the misconceptions that are shared. So you're in a position to make that decision. And ultimately for me, it was really the best decision. I feel like I have clarity of mind and I have made some really good friends throughout the retreat. Yeah. Knowledge. I think you have to continue to develop your knowledge. I think there'll be a lot of difficulties throughout life, maybe more difficulties sometimes for taking Islam because of those misconceptions. And, I know that I am an example for the religion, and I can only dismantle those misconceptions through my behavior and my knowledge.
Terima kasih, Anda telah menyaksikan kisah Mualaf ALFATH inspiratif. Semoga bermanfaat. Jangan lupa like dan subscribe, agar tidak tertinggal tayangan inspiratif berikutnya.